we're speaking about how to use your breath in relation to your fantasy if you need it to. And what I mean with fantasy is you can think of breathing into body parts, like you can breathe into your brain, you can think of breathing into your feet, into your hands, whatever you feel like, you can think about doing that. It's the oxygen is in your body no matter what you do. If you exhale and hold your breath, there's oxygen in your body. If you hold your breath at any other point, there's oxygen in your body. Doesn't matter what you do, you will have enough oxygen for you to survive. What is not so common is to have a high CO2 tolerance. CO2 you need to bring and transport oxygen to other body parts. So if you inhale too often per minute, it's going to be very unlikely that you can digest and receive oxygen into your body. Therefore, you need to exhale to produce CO2. You need to exhale. And if you exhale and produce CO2, there will be enough molecules, the CO2 molecules, that can then, with the hemoglobin, move your oxygen to your blood. If you're going to have enough oxygen in your body, the less you inhale, you can start to feel a bit calmer as well. It's very important to know that you can think about breathing into all body parts. So why would you only think of breathing into the belly if it's the most unfunctional pattern for athletes? If you want to, just because you have no eyes in your back doesn't mean that there isn't body parts in your back that can support you to breathe and feel the breath way wider, spreading and way wider in your body. So for you to really make sure that you use your body well, I would recommend to use the organs that are meant to bring the air to your blood, which are the organs. For your organs, which are the lungs. For your lungs to be accessed in the most sufficient and also efficient way, you want to use your nose, because your nose has anatomical links to your diaphragm and lungs that are, again, more beneficial and also more efficient than if you breathe through your mouth. Why? Because your mouth is not humidifying nor cleaning your air. Depending where you are, it makes sense to clean the air. Even in nature, it makes sense to humidify it. And probably if you're living in nature, your system is going to shut your mouth by nature. Because the better the environment that we live in, the more efficient the body parts that we have are going to move, right? So if I'm in an environment that is bad for my body or for my psyche, my body parts are going to move less efficient. Recovery is important for anyone, but especially for athletes. To recover, make sure you don't inhale through your mouth, and in the best case, you also don't exhale through the mouth whilst you're resting. If you're exhaling through your mouth and you're doing a lot of sighs, that means that your nervous system is burned out. So if you want to learn how to recover whilst you're resting, make sure that you inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose most of the times. Why is this important? Because nose breathing is linked to the parasympathetic tone, which is linked to rest and digest and calm and soothing your other organs. So your intestine will cooperate with your nervous system as well, which means that if you want your digestion to be efficient, especially when stressed, exhale slowly for 3 to 6 times. Put a timer on for 1 or 3 minutes, and then you make sure that you exhale very slowly whilst you breathe 1 to 3 minutes before you eat food, so that the intestine can distribute molecules that are more likely to take the nutrition out of your food. If you are too stressed and your body is too much in the sympathetic tone, you're more likely to not even being able to take the nutrition from the food. What else? Just repeating things that we've been talking about. It's always good to hear it more than once. All the things that are happening whilst you're resting are more important for you almost than things that you're doing whilst you're exercising for now. If you're specialized in this technique, Oxygen Advantage, then it makes sense to really, really put attention as well on the resting not only on the exercises that you're doing with the oxygen advantage. I'm going to start a membership by mid-end of February latest. Maybe already I started in February. So stay tuned if you want to be part of the membership. There are 2 lessons per week, one for musicians and for artists, and the other one is more performance specific and restoration specific for athletes. The position of the tongue is highly important because the position of the tongue is going to decide upon the position of all your other bones, starting with the jaw, neck, and moving down to the clavicle and the rib cage. Also, the position of your tongue is going to decide how your face and your throat is feeling. The face and the throat are very important for your mind and on the perception that your mind has about your life and for the perception that your brain has about your situation. So just by changing the position of your tongue, you can get your mind and brain to be in a constant alert situation, which then means that if we want to again be the most efficient, and when I say efficient, I don't mean performative efficient. I mean efficient as in saving energy and not doing unnecessary movements that are going to prevent us to feel at peace. Like we all deserve peace. The more we like to go high, the more peace we need to spread in the body and nervous system. And you can spread peace in your body and nervous system by creating, look a little bit like a hippie, by creating a higher sense for safety. Safety is something that is great to go back to, especially the more extreme the things are that you're planning, either mentally or in your behavior, as in taking risks. But also if you do things that are hardly risky physically, it makes sense to go back to basics. It's cool to do the fancy stuff, but it's really important to go back to the basics. So let's go through the basics for the last 2 minutes and then we stop. You want to nasal breathe at all times, if possible. I'm going to speak about the CO2 dump exhaling fastly through the mouth in another video. Just stay tuned. But the nasal breathing as in using what is going to help the rest of your body to stay calm. You want to nasal breathe so that the rest of your body and your rib cage and your lungs can be at peace. If you are mouth breathing, the rest of what is underneath your head needs to compensate all the time. And you don't want to be losing energy compensating. So this is the thing. We're trying to save energy as much as possible so that you can spend energy doing the things that you're doing. And so it's a bit like instead of spending all the money that you have within a day, you learn how to use your money. For me, your movements within your face and within your body and hands and feet and the movements that you do inside of your body, as in within your organs and the small particles of your chemistry, if you know how to direct that, you can be efficient with your breathing and very efficient with your thinking and very efficient with your energy distribution so your mind is less likely to lose time overthinking. You can program your body to stop overthinking. And so we want to nasal breathe at all times because the anatomic connections that are being made through nasal breathing, in contrast to the mouth breathing, are more efficient and less likely to steal energy from your physicality and the physics that happen within your biology. Bam, 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 bam. Then you want to place your tongue at the roof of your mouth to avoid air coming into your mouth whilst you exercise or rest. If you try to inhale like this, it's impossible for the air to move into your body through the mouth. It will only move into your body through the nose. You want to make sure that the posture of your head is not too much to the front, much to the back, not up, not too much down. but your head is nicely on top of your clavicle. Nice posture. Make sure your rib cage has a nice posture as well, which means you don't want to tilt your rib cage too much to the front, not too much to the back. Inside back, which would be what you're doing when you're sitting on the computer, too much upside front. Both positions are typical, so keep it nice and easy. If your spine by nature has a curve that is a bit or is very flat, because spines are being born differently. So there are spines that are very flat, there are spines that are a bit more, I forgot the name in English, a bit more round in the top. Forgot it. But there is a term for that. Too much sun into my face. Then you want to keep your rib cage not too much tilted into one or the other direction, but anatomy is anatomy. We can work on that and make changes, but for you, your body has chosen that this is the perfect body for you. So that's also all right. You don't need to force it into another direction. You can always message me if you have questions to your spine or your body, obviously. And then the position of your pelvis, beautiful on my back, the black thing that I don't know what it is for. The position of your pelvis is going to depend on the position of your rib cage. So again, your breathing defines how your pelvis and your knees are going to be placed. Your rib cage is going to define how your shoulders are going to be placed, which is going to impact the way your neck and your jaw feels. So if you want to do something for your whole body, just start understanding that your lungs are in the ribs. So breathe into the back of your lungs, place the tongue at the roof of your mouth, use your nostrils. If you're blocked, you need to use them even more consciously, because you can only unblock your nose through which gas? Nitric oxide. And nitric oxide produced during exhalations and holding your breath after exhalation. Your pelvic floor is also going to move whilst you're breathing. So whilst you're inhaling, your pelvic floor is going to react on your inhale. Exhale. So will your throat and the muscles on top of your skull. So everything is interacting with each other. And you want to make sure that what is in the center of your body is supporting everything that goes up and everything that goes down.